Let's get ready to rumble! Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just excited for the Royal Rumble this weekend. Actually, who am I kidding? You're all men. Anyway, boys, are you ready for this week's Years in Review? The episodic show where I look back on years in history, starting from the years 1 AD to our current year of 2023. Episode 8 covers the years 31 to 50 Anno Domini, with topics like the downfall of Lucius Sergianus and the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Let's begin. This episode is a bit confusing and doesn't make the most sense, I'll admit. But let's get into it. So firstly, Emperor Tiberius has lost his cool Uncle Big T status in my eyes after failing to be a good family member and ruler of Rome. This man was foolish enough to trust Sejanus over his family, and he agreed to have Agrippa the Elder and her 2 sons to be exiled / kidnapped, basically. He even makes Sejanus co-consul with him. Like, bruh. But later in the same year of 31 AD, he realizes that Sergianus is a sussy baka, traitor boy, and has him executed. This is a huge shift considering just a year before, Sejanus was the second most powerful man in Rome. All it took for Tiberius to come to his senses was Agrippa's son, Nero, not that Nero, being executed by Sejanus. But even after Sejanus was executed and deemed a traitor, Tiberius leaves his daughter-in-law, Agrippa the Elder, in exile where she is held in captivity, and she is starved to death by those captors who were lackeys of Sejanus and his Praetorian Guard in the year 33 AD. Speaking of the Praetorian Guard, Little T, as he will now be known, has screwed the Roman Empire for centuries to come by keeping the Praetorian Guard after Sejanus' execution. He names Navarius Marco the leader of the guard. Now, the only thing that happened in 32 AD is that Philo writes the interpretation of the Old Testament called the Allegory. That becomes really big, I think. But in 33 AD, this was a doozy. As I mentioned, poor Agrippa the Elder was starved to death this year, but also the most notable thing of this year was the crucifixion of Jesus. In April, he had his famous Last Supper and then was then arrested and crucified by the Judean governor, Pontius Pilate. He was executed for being a cult leader. So side note, Rome has a lot of cults at the time, which are just meant to be secret religious groups. But none of these were as vocal as Christians who stepped on the Roman rulers' toes a little too much and made them scared. So they hoped to squash them with this cult with the death of its leader, Jesus. Spoiler alert, as you all know, it just made it stronger. And in the next century, the movement will gain a lot of popularity, resulting in the eventual Christian religious takeover of the empire. But that is 20 episodes down the line, so we won't see that for a while. In less depressing news that doesn't relate to death, let's talk about the first credit bank. Little T founded the Credit Bank of Rome after causing a financial crisis in Rome to help smooth it over. This crisis hurt the wealthy mostly. Hold up, guys, check this sip. Kofefi. So in the year 34 AD, the Romans construct the Grand Aqueduct Pont du Gard. This megastructure for the time is the biggest aqueduct in the ancient Roman Empire that is still preserved to this day. Mr. Marco gains favor in the Roman Empire by prostituting his wife out to the future Emperor Caligula, which is massively messed up, unless you were into that, which is still weird, but kind of yikes. So Caligula at this point is heir to the empire, with his brother and mom now dead due to Sejanus, and he is taken under the wing of Little T, which, by the way, is so weird. Why is he hanging out with the dude who let his mom die, and having sex with the wife of the follower of the dude who had both of his brothers killed? Roman elites are messed up, that's all I'm saying. In sadder news, one of the 7 OG deacons, simply named Stephen, is killed for his dedication to the Christian faith. Saul of Tarsus is converted to Christianity, and he is renamed Paul the Apostle. He and Apostle Barnabas start preaching the word of the Lord. This episode ends in a whimper, I'm afraid, though, with the only slightly notable thing being in 35 AD, being that Trinidates III becomes the new king of Parthia, because have you guys noticed? They've had a lot of kings in the last couple episodes, while Rome's had 2 rulers, because there is so much instability, so much infighting, and so much assassination / coups / our emperor's dead, wink wink, I don't know how. But anyway, enough of that crappy Persian. Let's talk about babies. So our first baby is Marcus Otho, who will be born in the year 32 AD. He will be the 7th Roman emperor. In 33 AD, Gaius Plautus was born. He will be Emperor Nero's greatest rival in the future. And in 35 AD, we have Statilia Messalina. She's the future wife of Nero. Like, one of he's had so many wives, if you haven't noticed. He gets divorced a lot. Now, time for death. In 32 AD, after being accused by Cassius Dio of poisoning Drusus, which she did, of course, if you remember from last episode, Livilia was found guilty and locked up by her mother and Tiberius. She starved herself to death later on. Sad face. In 32 AD, so the same year, John the Baptist was also beheaded by Herod Antipas, according to the New Testament. And that's kind of it. Like, I mean, I've already kind of mentioned a bunch of the deaths that happened already, so these are the other ones. So, okay, guys, so that wraps it up for the years 31 to 35 AD in history. This episode was a bit of a dreary one with all the deaths, but if you're interested in my streams, check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Joe Botlick. Link in the description. But also hit up my gaming channel, Joe Botlick, if you're interested in funny video game stuff. Like, I just posted a hardcore World of Warcraft video, and it was a great one. So check that out, please. So please leave a like and a subscribe, because it really helps me motivate me to do more of these. Yeah, see you guys. I'ma go prep for the Rumble!